should let me love you forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and day, 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 day.
Surprise! We're back again. It's been almost like a whole week of the Melanated Way, TMW Online. I'm Linda. That is Abby. We are catching up. I know a lot of you have been like messaging, saying, are we still covering before the 90 days? Yes, we are. We are a bit behind, but we're going to do everything in our power to catch up. So today we're covering Season 8, Episode 5, Nearest Exit may be behind you. Just covering single life all week. Abby, it was just so, there's so many problematic characters on B90, like so many.
Yeah, and they're just making really ridiculous decisions. But you know what? These are the people we actually live with. People think sometimes the reality TV is just made up. No, there are real people out here in the world making these kind of decisions.
100%. 100%. And, not to be like focused, but Americans, some of you are making some crazy decisions. Like, they're just crazy. And I'm trying to figure out why. That's it. All right, let's jump right in because there's a lot to cover. First up is Scheana and Forrest. They're shopping. And it's just the two of them. He loves being with Scheana daily. It's been 7 years. And so he's really loving the one-on-one interaction, the day-to-day stuff, the meals together, the kissing, the holding hands, the whole shebang. And given what he was told by Scheana before he got there, which is really actually true with a lot of considered third world countries, is clothing is quite cheap. In our standards, in the Western standards. So he packed light because he thought he was going to shop when he got there, but they didn't take into account that he's 6'2". And I don't know how big he is, but he's 6'2", and he's a fuller guy. So 2X is too small on him. He even tried 5X and he was like, oh, it feels tight. And so one of the things, 5X in Philippine sizes is not the same as 5X in American sizes. I just want to let you all know that. Like, it's just not. So him saying it was too small, he couldn't fit it. He was regretting his packing choices. Yeah. But
Scheana seems so thorough. It's actually funny to me that not funny, but it's interesting to me that she didn't realize this was going to be an issue, because whenever I've gone to, like, I've only been to 2 Asian countries as an adult, Indonesia and Vietnam. One of the things they tell you in your travel guide is the stores are not typically made to fit Americans. Mm-hmm. You can get clothes made in both of those places, but generally, like, just shopping in a regular store, you're not going to find it. You have to go to the Fat Fatty McFat store. Literally, like, their plus size stores have names like that. Big, tall, large, huge people store. That is the name you'll see outside of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're not messing around. In Korea, they have like a fat farm, basically, and you have to work out 4 hours a day, every day for a month to get your weight to the proper weight. So they don't mess around. You're like, oh, if you have to go to that place, who's paying your bills? Like the government say, hey, like, I don't know how it works, but it's quite.
I saw this girl who went dress shopping for a bride's dress in Vietnam. She'd heard that she can get her clothes made there pretty cheaply, and she went into all these bridal shops. They were like, no, we don't do your size. And then finally, one of them told her, like, go over top of this cafe. There's a shop that'll serve you. It was literally called Big Fat Brides.
Yep. I mean, yep. I think it's funny. I think it's Be direct. Be direct in what you mean. I get it. I hear what you're saying. So Forrest is really enjoying his alone time with Sheena. But he's having this conversation about, quote, the unquote money that she gives to her parents. And this is already, I'm like 5 minutes in and I'm already getting irritated because it's not the money, it's her money. It's
Right.
her, what are we talking about right now? And he wants her to cut her family off. And I was just like, for what? And she's like explaining to him that it's culture, it's respect, it's her parents. She's the eldest child. And that rings true in a lot of foreign families, you guys. Even my African family. Elders are respected. Parents are respected. Like all of this stuff is totally different than American culture. And the fact that he's not even taking that into consideration is alarming to me. And it's alarming that he's saying, oh, I want you to cut off your family. Because yeah, I understand that she's complaining that she has to like support them. And he wants to protect her, but he also hasn't met them yet. And maybe some of that is lost in translation. What are your thoughts, Abby?
Yeah, the whole money situation is incredibly infuriating to me. I don't understand how he has come to think he should be able to dictate where any of Sheena's money is going. And I also don't understand why Sheena isn't being a little bit more firm about this is not a conversation that you get to have with me when we haven't even met in person.
Mm-hmm.
Like why are we talking about my finances? We're not a real couple yet. We have,
And what about
you're
you?
talking
You don't
about
have a job. You don't have a job and you
yeah,
have money. So what are you talking about?
right.
Why would she
You're
take
talking
any financial advice from you when she's the one that actually has an amazing job? She's a veterinarian and he's at home with no job.
right. It doesn't even make any sense to me for her to move to the United States because she won't be able to practice immediately. She'll have to do some kind of conversion, education, certificate, whatever, to be able to work as a veterinarian again. And there's nothing that he has in the US that can't be sacrificed.
That's right, because he has no profession. And she goes to America and all she's going to end up doing is working to support him, Molly, and Dev because none of those fools work. None of them work.
Right.
Oh, God. I'm already mad. Okay. So he then also says that it's the first time he's hearing that he needs her parents' approval in order to get married. And he is upset about it. He's like, I don't feel like I should have to get anyone's approval. I'm a grown person and I don't need to do this. And I was like, OMG, I hate this. I hate the fact that, again, where's the respect for the culture? That's the woman that you supposedly love and want to marry. Learn her culture a little bit. Learn what it is to actually get engaged.
This is not like super far-fetched to me. First of all, I don't think it's something that Sheena would have known that she has to say to him because every single culture embodies some aspect of ask the parents for the bride because every culture has that I've ever come in contact with had some form of patriarchy where the daughters belong as property to the families before they get married. And so that persists even in American culture. You ask the father for the bride's hand before you propose to her. You don't have to believe in it, but it's a principle that has existed for a very long time. So it's weird to me that he doesn't think that he needs to be endearing to the family and have a relationship with the family. Forrest is just, he's such a conundrum because on the one hand, you want to like him. Like, at least that's how I feel, like you want to like him, but then he does things that just make no sense.
That part. But I also blame his upbringing, his rearing. I think that he wants to do the right things, and then his mom just is his mom, and it's so like no couth, no any like just entitled, the whole thing. Ew. The other thing I really do enjoy about Sheena is the fact that she continues to educate about where she lives. So they go
Mhm.
to Intramorsos, which is a Spanish base, and she's telling them all about it and the area. They tour the area. One of the things that I thought was so funny is that she also says there's an area called Calo, which is the club area, and Molly's like, "Oh, we should check it out. We should check it out." And Dev's like, "Oh yeah, we should check it out. Back in my day, he would go to the strip club and eat hamburgers because the strip clubs had the best hamburgers." Died of laughter because you know what? I completely. You know how you hear about people eating wings at the bar at the strip club,
Mhm.
and you're like,
Mhm.
you could eat anywhere. Like who goes to a strip club to
Look,
eat?
that burger is still on Dev's mind. And then he said, did he say like Monday is amateur day?
Tuesdays.
Tuesday is
Tuesdays,
amateur day.
yeah, amateur
Hilarious.
and burgers. And you know, he had a whole flashback because you know he was a regular. Um, my note just says Molly is problematic. She goes, the Vietnamese hat, she wants to buy it, she buys it, she puts it on. And they all sit down, and Forrest tries to explain to his mom that he wants to go and meet Sheena's family by himself with Sheena, which I also think is a great idea, you guys.
Hmm.
Go as a couple and meet the family and then bring the rest of the family together. I don't see what the problem is, but Molly freaks out. She wants to make sure she talks to Sheena's family because it can all be a scam. And she wants to make sure she's there so no one is scamming her son. And then when Sheena talks about like being the oldest daughter and the tradition of it all, Molly thinks that that's just complete manipulation by her family. Again, the ignorance of it all and the audacity of it all and the American of it all just is wild to me. Do a little research, you'll see that that's the culture and not just her family specifically.
What exactly is the scam?
That's my next thing. That was my note. You took it right out of my mouth. What is the scam? Because I'm confused.
I don't get it. I do not get it. What do you think that his family could get from Forrest that they don't already have? Forrest has nothing to offer.
I don't know what the scam is either. And if you all know, you're watching in the live chat or the replay, please let me know. Let Abby know. I don't know what it is. I'm confused. What scam? Exactly. He's got no money, he's got no job, doesn't speak the language, doesn't know the culture. What could she possibly get out of him?
They would just be taking on, if he chose to stay in the Philippines, they would just be taking on another ward.
Another word, yep. Facts. Forrest tries to stand up to his mom, but it's hard for him. He calls her a hardcore person. He wants her to treat him like an adult and not as a child. He holds on to Sheena's hand, and basically says, you know, I want to go on my own. So I can't trust you to act correct because you have a bad temper. And I don't trust you to act right. So I want to go first, meet the family, make a good impression before you come storming in all willy-nilly. And I appreciated the fact that he tried that. And I didn't like the fact that she got all in her feelings and she's making it seem like Forrest has to choose between her and his loyalty to her and his new girlfriend, Sheena. I don't like it at all. Because there are some moms specifically who are very attached to their sons, almost to the point where they feel like that's the man of the house and the man in their life. And when a woman comes and gets involved with their son, they literally get jealous of that relationship. And
They get weird.
It's so weird, and it's also disgusting. Like, get your own life. You have your whole husband here. Go explore with Dev and enjoy. You've never left America, not ever. This is your first trip, and you're too busy being willy-nilly, Karen crazy in your son's life, and you're missing the whole trip. It's wild to me.
Right. Is the disability check that like is it that high? Because that's the only possession that he has. Is it that high? You want to be able to keep control of that check? Let me see. What's the average? Let me see. Average SSI payment 2025. How much could Forrest possibly be getting? The average Social Security income is $967 per month for individuals or $1,450 for couples. So let's say he's getting the average $967 per month. That's what you're worried about, Molly?
How is he living? How is he surviving? I don't know what's going on. She must be, I don't know what's going on, but all I know
Be
is
on every single government program. They're on government housing. They're getting SSI, food stamps. That's the only way he's surviving. Every government program available.
and she's worried about being scammed. That is wild to me. You know, that guy I keep telling you guys about, Russell. I always get his last name confused because I really like this comedian Russell Peters, and that's not that. Russell, I'm going to tell you right now. It is. Hold the line. Let me look for him right now, real quick. And anyways, he talks about relationships specifically, and I just think he's amazing. Russell Hartley, that's his name, Russell Hartley. And Russell, to sum it up, paraphrase, he basically says the only men that are worried about gold diggers are men that have no gold.
Always.
And this is the case in this situation. Like, Molly and Forrest and Dev, y'all have no gold. So I don't know what you're worried about because no one's digging for nothing because you ain't got nothing to dig for. It's wild. All right. Do you want anything else before I move on?
Nope. Let's go.
God, Lisa.
Let's go. Baby girl 2.0 Lisa.
Oh, God. I can't, you guys. It's so cringe. It is so cringe. It's so, all of it is just cringe. I mean, it's amazing reality TV, but it is cringe. Like,
yes,
cringe. Okay.
This is the hardest couple for me to watch. I don't know exactly what combination of things is attributing to it, but their PDA is frighteningly horrific.
100%. Joshua says, "Hi, Abby." Yeah, okay, you guys, it's, for me, it's her voice, it's his blatant stereotypes, it's their PDA, it's the train wreck that I already know this is. It's just it's like a bundle of cringe. Oh. Okay, so she's on the flight. She says her tata's hurt because she's wearing a strapless bra. Again, amateur hour. Who wears a strapless bra on an international flight? That doesn't even make any type of sense. And the fact that she was also in a middle seat really bothered me. Like, you made no plans. You just kind of said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hop on a flight that's going to be at least 18 hours and then be complaining all day. I don't get it. The second thing that I don't get, so a worry is where Daniel's from. He is trying to say that his little village city is so dangerous, there's shootings and kidnapping. So he is going to stay in the hotel that Lisa booked in Lagos. Now, every city has an area that is not safe. Okay. And what drives me crazy as an African myself is the stereotypes that are perpetuated about Africa. I was in LA and I had someone coming to visit me. I'm not going to take them to Skid Row, downtown LA, because, it's probably not going to be the safest. That's in every city. Washington, D.C.
Absolutely.
You're not going to take them to every single area. And that's what it is. But, some of y'all hold on to the stereotypes about what you've heard, and you all haven't even traveled. You've never even left your friggin' city. So I just want you to be really open to the fact that, oh, that was weird. Open to the fact that sometimes it's just a stereotype, and do your own research and see for yourself. So anyways, they're staying in Lagos at the hotel that he did not pay for. He's nervous because he has these big plans for Lisa when she arrives. Lisa is landing, and again, I said the middle seat. My note says, Abby, the middle seat all the way to Nigeria. Thank you.
Why does she look like she's been sweating buckets just on the plane?
Just on the plane.
Is that all nerves? Goodness. She said she had, some anxiety, but goodness.
It looked like she didn't even bathe the day before and she just hopped on the plane.
I said that. I was like, she didn't do any pre-plane maintenance, which I guess makes sense if we're dealing with someone who has never traveled before. She didn't know.
Or she just doesn't do that on a regular basis. She is nervous because she needs to tell Daniel that she's been a lesbian for the last 21 years, and she doesn't know how he's going to take that. You might have wanted to think about that before you jumped on a plane halfway across the world, but what do I know?
What do we know?
The funny, crazy part is she then says that she will tell him about her past before she gets engaged, which you all know. It's not true. Daniel arrives at the airport. He's desperate and eager to see Lisa. He loves his heart. He loves his love. And he cannot wait to see the love of his love. Those are his words. If it doesn't make sense to you, great, because it didn't make sense. But who am I? Because I am the worst with sayings. So Lisa feels self-conscious. She goes to the bathroom, just like how we've seen Darcy in the past, how we see everyone that comes from America, they quickly go to the bathroom and try to freshen up. She was the most that I've seen ever. She gets her little wet wipes out. She's, cleaning her underarms, and she's cleaning down things. Like she didn't go to a stall. She was just right there in the open. She put her hand up her skirt and that was that.
She was going for it. She had a mirror. You saw she took her mirror out and set it up?
Mirror out. She said she had Tata sweat. She didn't sleep on the plane. The whole thing. Like you could just tell she was like a big bucket of, nervous.
Slop.
Yes.
I can't even imagine sitting beside her on either side of her. I know she was a mess the whole flight. Just sweat flinging everywhere.
I would have been mad about it. Let me tell you, I would have been mad about it. So she freshens up the best she could. She feels her age is showing after she got off the flight. She says normally when she sees Daniel, she has like the perfect lighting. She's had enough sleep and makeup and the whole thing. But You know, that is not sustainable, you guys. Those of you that are on these long distance, online, whatever you want to call it, because I just don't think an online relationship is a real relationship. That's just my personal opinion. But if you're talking to someone online, just be yourself because they're going to eventually see you in person. So, like, have we not learned from Rebecca and Ziad? Like, you can only FaceTime for so long. You can only, have those snap filters for so long. Your person, if you truly intend to meet that person, they're going to see what you look like.
Right.
So that all being said, Lisa's afraid that Daniel's going to reject her, which we are about to find out is absolutely not the case. She gets out of the bathroom. He runs to her with flowers. They have a huge hug, a gross, disgusting, long, disgusting, sloppy, long, too gross kiss. Ew. And you know how you just said, that is what my note said. My note is like,
The cameraman kept getting closer and closer to it.
And that's so funny you say that because my next note said, why do they keep showing it, SME?
I was like, what am I watching right now? Is this an OF preview? Why are we zooming in? What is, the tongue was all in her mouth. Her mouth is gaped open with the TLC. We need to see all that.
It was just so gross. After we just saw her being all nasty in the bathroom and then thinking like a couple of wet wipes is going to freshen her up. It was just all too much. It was
maybe
too
you
much.
like it a little tart.
It was, anyways, who are we though? Who is Abby and who am I? Because Daniel loved it. He thinks she's beautiful, irresistible, and a beautiful angel.
Right.
And let me tell you something. I am gonna call BS on that. What he thinks is beautiful, he thinks it's beautiful that he's found this quote unquote white woman that his mother would have wanted him to marry, who's gonna be low maintenance because she's older. He's already like latched on to some of her insecurities, and he is loving the beautiful green card that he sees that's going to bring him to America. That's what he's thinking is beautiful and quote irresistible. Yeah, it's irresistible to him, all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I would normally be like, no, I don't think it's about a green card. Everything's not about a green card, blah, 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 blah. But there's just so many things happening with this guy that I'm like, it cannot be. It cannot be that he is attracted to her in the slightest.
Abby,
it's not even like a part of what's going on.
No, but do you remember episode 2? He literally said it's about the green card. Michelle
said he said, oh yeah, I like her because she supports me. Like he flat out said it.
He flat out said his dream is to go to America and get the green card.
Yeah,
that's exactly
but you know what though? As I was watching it, I'm like, so I really don't think he's attracted to her. I really don't think that he's into her. Like normally I think there's some kind of percentage like mix, like 20% they're into it, 80% green card. Like I think there's some kind of pie around it. I really don't think he's into her. But he's going to be able to maintain the performance of being interested in her and have intimacy with her. Like, look how far, like, you can extend yourself physically for a particular result. You see what I'm saying? Like, because I wouldn't be able to do that.
Listen,
I'd have to have like a 40 or 50% interest. Could you force yourself physically to do this?
Me?
Yes.
Me? Abby?
I know you could. Michelle, Pieces, Joshua, could you live chat, replay? Could you force yourself physically to do this? Or do you need, 10%, 20%, 30%? Do you need some percentage of interest? Or do you think you could ever be in a situation where you're so desperate that you could really force yourself to be physically into someone who is so unappealing?
I mean, you guys answer that question. I shared a story with you guys yesterday that was years ago. That hasn't changed. I am still the same person. I absolutely not. Absolutely not. Michelle says no way. Pieces says no. There's no ew. You guys know how grossed out I get about a lot of things. There is no. Let us know though, because some people can do it, which is what I was going to say to you, Abby. Some people can have 0.0 interest, and you know they'll move and live with someone with zero interest because their end goal. What are the homosexuals? They want to just a place to stay. There are some people who want green cards. There are some people who are scammers and want your money, like, and they'll do it. Ew.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Ryan said I could never be that desperate.
That part. They're walking out of the airport, and we see traditional African dance and music waiting for them outside. It's a personal welcome for Lisa, and also a proposal from Daniel. And my note just says SMH. That's it. SMH. That's all I got. You want to add anything?
I just wanted to be a fly on the wall at the airport. I just want to go to the airport sometime and watch all of these terrible matches. Because like we see a lot of footage from this particular airport on social media of people meeting with their long distance partners for the first time. Just want to be on the fly of the wall for some of those matches.
Give me the popcorn and I will sit there all day eating my popcorn and the nonsense. All right. We're moving on to another problematic couple.
Mm-hmm.
Jovan and Annalyn.
Yeah.
Yes, Ryan, we are behind. At the top of the show, we talked about we're still catching up, but I can only imagine that it gets worse. Listen, Abby, I saw what you tagged me today on, and it was so early. I was so cringed. I just like, I'm not ready. You guys, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for the continued cringe of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Jovan is getting ready to also be in the Philippines. It would be great if Jovan and Forrest connected in the Philippines. Two like slightly incel behaviors. I would love to see what that looks like.
I mean, but the crazy thing is, like, the Forrest conundrum is that he really does love Scheana. He really seems to enjoy her and seems to want to support her as a person, defend her. I don't feel like Jovan loves Annalyn. I feel like she is a prop.
But also, Abby, how can he love her? He's never met her ever.
I mean, that's also true, but just, you know, the things that we've seen so far don't give the interactions that we've seen with Forrest and Scheana so far.
Who gets married on Zoom, y'all? Like, just what?
It's more common than you would think.
It's outrageous.
Yeah. And there's actually like their reason for getting married over Zoom made more sense to me than some of the cases that I've seen, because I've processed some of these spousal visa applications. But the fact that they did it because they thought he would be able to enter the country when there was a blockade on going in, that made more sense. But then he just never had the money. Exactly, Ryan. I agree. But I don't think that let's just take it back from Annalyn. I don't think he likes women as people. But anyway, so let's get into Jovan. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh no, I was thinking, am I going to do my own TED talk right now? And I felt myself literally pull it all back in. So Javon's en route to the airport. We meet his brother Nick and Lauren, I don't know. His brothers. They drive him to the airport where he is going to meet Annalyn in the Philippines for the first time. He literally says, as he is walking through the airport, that he's praying that the marriage wasn't a mistake. Really? Is that what you're praying for, Javon? And then we meet Annalyn, who, God, women, like, do what you want. You're a woman. You can do what you want, make your own choices. But I want to tell you, like, I'm about to judge this situation because I just think it's outrageous. So she went to university. She got a degree in mass communication, was doing well, was exploring, that higher education and employment and all of that. And she stopped working full time because of her online marriage and the time difference it took for her to be in front of her phone when she would be talking to her online husband, Javon. Or, excuse me? So you want to tell me that you spent however many years you spent to get knowledge and get a higher education, and then you haven't met this person in real life, but you decide to quit your job so that you can FaceTime with this fool? You quit your job, and then now we already know that Javon is like a little bit misogynistic and not even traditional in his thoughts, just really lack of respect for women. Like, women should be submissive. Women should just love him and support him and make him feel good about himself because he doesn't feel good about himself. Anyways, all that being said, you quit your job so that now he sends you between $400 and $500 a month, and you are now under that financial hold over your life. If he decides one month that he's not going to send you the money, then what are you going to do? What? She lives next door to her mom, Susanna. Her mom has a little like corner shop, and she's very close to her mom. And her mom is actually shocked that after so many years, she's finally going to meet her quote unquote husband. Her mom didn't think it was going to happen. Do you want to add anything before I move on to the next part?
No. Go ahead.
Okay, so they're going to be traveling to, I hope I'm saying it right, Bicol for their honeymoon after 6 years. So they've been together for 6 years, you guys, together. Married for 3 years together. But they have problems. They haven't even met, and they have a ton of problems, you guys. If you remember, she wasn't even taking his calls. She had blocked him. She blocked her own husband, so he couldn't call her. But problems you haven't even met. Problem number one, he has feelings for another woman, has been talking to another woman, and that has made Annalyn unhappy. Problem number two, he has control issues. All the things that I just previously mentioned and Abby has mentioned, I don't think he really even enjoys women. I think he thinks that they are property. I think he thinks that they need to be submissive. I think he wants to have control. He doesn't want them to have their own opinions. He doesn't want them to even speak. Because I saw a clip of episode 6 where he is looking at her and telling her why is she talking? Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Third problem, he is watching those, I can't remember, I think they're called like Red and Blue podcasts, but you know, the incel podcast. He's listening to the incel podcast, and his belief is that women have to be soft, feminine, and submissive. And that's not all the things. That's not the only thing that Annalyn is. Annalyn is a complete and full woman with her own opinions and her own thoughts. And, you know, it seems right now the fourth issue is that they don't even really get along. They don't get along. Red Pill. Thank you, Becca. Red Pill podcast. They don't even get along on the phone or online. What's going to happen in person, Abby?
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan, absolutely couldn't have said it better. She said, ladies, never give up your autonomy for a dusty like Javon. Dude lives with 3 other dudes. What is he bringing to the table other than a visa? But he acts like he can't afford that.
I mean, there are income requirements that a person has to meet in order to sponsor you to come to the United States. So that is a consideration. If anyone is watching us who is thinking about dating an American, that is something that you want to consider. You don't want to be stuck in a marriage where the person's like, oh, turns out our paperwork can't be approved. I can't support you. Also, hey, Becca, missed you. Becca Kitty Meow.
Okay, so, oh God, I cannot. Who gives up their job for someone you've not even met before? What if he can't even pay his Wi-Fi? And you know how cheap this fool is, I already know. And I hate a cheap man. When he took off his boots, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit, when he took off his boots and his stinky feet, and she brought him slippers, and he was like, oh, does this come with the room? Just no, absolutely not. Okay, so he lands at the airport, Paraga Airport, and he's feeling anxious about meeting his wife. Gets to the airport. They have their meet cute. She runs to him. They hug. Gives her a forehead kiss. Calls her a peach on a windowsill because she has a pink dress on. Don't know what that even means. Is that a South saying? Peach on a windowsill?
I've never heard that.
Okay, I don't know.
But I mean, he's from Alabama. I'm not from Alabama, so maybe it is there.
If anyone knows if it's a real saying, let me know and what it means, because what? He says she's everything he's ever hoped for and more. She thinks he's fluffy and handsome and perfect. Only thing she wants is more kisses from him. And they go back to the hotel, and on the way back, he calls her his beautiful chatty wife, which again, submissive, don't have your own opinions, don't talk. Like she's not meeting the things that he's requiring. She has rose petals and champagne all in the room. I already told you about the slipper part. That just was like gross. And you're outside, clothes, sitting on the bed. She had to tell him to go take a shower. I am surprised that was not his first thought after traveling for at least 20 hours. And then we find out that Annalyn hasn't had sex in about a decade. And she's worried, like, will she satisfy him? Does she still know all the positions? Which I thought was, like, super adorable of her. And, you know, I don't know. My gut is like, should she have broken her chastity for this low vibration, low achiever? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I feel like I don't think so, but I feel like it's one of those things where she probably feels like she's invested so much in it that she has to go through with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you guys. Who cares how much time you've invested? If you're unhappy or if your gut is telling you something, listen to it. It is not worth it. It is not.
Right. So, Ryan, I did see your question. Would Forrest meet the income requirements to bring Scheana to the United States? So the lowest income requirement right now is 15,960 for one person. So if his average and like the average SSI income is 967. So if we say he makes the average, that's 11,604 per year, which would put him below the poverty line. He would need a joint sponsor in order to sponsor Sheena. But that's just the average SSI income. Maybe his is more than that.
Becca says that she's also heard that Molly might also be on disability.
I wouldn't be surprised if Molly was on disability.
I believe that that's actually true. I don't. There's a rumor, online rumor, but you know, I haven't done any research on it, so I don't know to be true. But if the rumor is true, then she's absolutely on disability, and she might be having some legal issues over it. But again,
I mean, they come off to me as the kind of family that's on all kinds of social services. And she comes off to me as a person who would marry a Native American person just to get more social services. So that's just my read on that whole situation.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Is what I'm saying. Do you have anything else you want to add, Abby?
I mean, just, you know, Ryan earlier said, don't give up all of these, you know, things for a dusty man. But her mom also expressed concern that she's not been hanging out with her friends because she's just sitting around waiting for him as well. So, like, absolutely don't give up your life in that way, because then it'll be harder for you to step away from a bad relationship because you won't even know what there is to go back to. You've altered your routine so much. Don't alter your routine so much that it's difficult for you to get rid of that man and get back to yourself.
Yep. Agreed. Oh God, there's just so much, you guys. It's all so problematic all over the place. Birkin and Nora.
Not a Birkin bag, just a Birkin.
Bag, just a Birkin, big young guy. But he did surprise me in this episode, you guys. So Laura's frustrated that she went to bed alone. And so she, in the middle of the night, went to the living room. Her and Birkin allegedly made out later that night. Okay. So now she's feeling a little bit better. However, she is feeling unsure about the relationship in its totality because he put the brakes on having sex with her. And I personally do not know a man that will turn down sex. I just don't know. I just don't know. I'm sure they exist. I just don't know of any. So I really don't know what's going on here. I said that the best way I could. Okay, so it's the second day, and she made plans to go see a plastic surgeon for skin removal surgery. And she asked Birkin to come with her as her support system, someone that can support her through this whole process. She's again worried, you know, is he attracted to her? Does he want to be with her? And I hate that for her, because one of the things that as women, right, the society's beauty standards and what you're supposed to look like, and especially present day, you know, we are in the midst of award season, and it's alarming to me how I think it was in the 80s where that really extra rail thin culture was like what society thought was beautiful. It's alarming to me that it's like a cyclical, because it's back and you're starting to see rail thin, not even like just skinny, like rail thin celebrities where it's just skin and bone. So it's like kind of come back, and I just worry for women, because we're constantly being bombarded by what society says beauty is. And I just want to remind us all, myself included, that beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, all skin colors, all heights. And as long as you're comfortable in your own skin, then that's what's important.
Right.
You don't have to shape yourself to be any type of way if you're comfortable in your own skin. And I encourage you to love on yourself. Now, I'm not opposed to people that want to get a nip and a tuck and a this and a that and a shot and a what else? All the things. If that's going to make you feel better about yourself, then I'm not opposed to that. What I'm opposed to is you then starting to change what you think is beautiful about yourself because society's saying, oh no, this is the new standard. When
Mhm.
next year it's going to be something totally different. That being said, I am completely impressed by Laura, who has lost 140 pounds over a year or so. And I don't think she's giving herself enough credit, because that is an amazing thing to achieve. So she's lost 140 pounds. She has loose skin that she wants to remove. Her specific area that she feels most insecure about is her stomach area. And so she's talking to Dr. Omer about what a treatment plan would look like. So come on, let's go ahead and take some pictures. So again, I applaud Laura because even with the insecurities, you guys, she went on international TV
Mhm.
and allowed herself to be vulnerable, allowed herself to be a real woman with real vulnerabilities, and allowed production to film that. And so, Laura, I would say that you are more secure than you think.
Oh yeah.
You are more secure than you think, and that inner strength you have, I applaud it. That could not have been easy.
Right.
So the doctor takes these photos that you are seeing on your screen, and he then meets her back in the office with Birkin still being in the office, and he pops it on the big screen. Meanwhile, Birkin has been playing with implants while he was waiting. So they show the pictures. The doctor explains that it's a horizontal problem. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I inferred it meant like the fold over parts. You know, sometimes when you sit down, you get a little pooch sometimes. That fold over part was the horizontal. That's what I'm assuming, but I could be wrong. And they would have to come in vertically, and the doctor's recommending a tummy tuck. Meanwhile, Laura's looking over at Birkin, regretting that she asked him to come with her because she doesn't think that this whole thing is romantic or sexy. She thinks, in fact, it's awful. And she thinks that Birkin is looking and feeling uncomfortable. And the producers ask, are you uncomfortable? And he pauses and says he's surprised.
I mean, the way that they did the photos is not the way that you would see it if you were standing in front of her, because they have to make the photos to enhance the area to prep for surgery, right? So I went to a plastic surgeon. You guys know I had a tumor removed here. It grew back, and I had a tumor removed the second time here. When they took the photos to decide like what kind of treatment plan they would go for, they were the worst photos I have ever seen of myself, because the whole purpose was to magnify this area. That's not the way that I would normally look at myself in the mirror, or that you would look at me. So those photos are meant to magnify, and they're not going to make you feel good about yourself.
Well, no, because he's trying to get his $7,175, right? I mean, plastic surgeons are in the business to make money. It's not like the ER doctor who is there to save lives. They're there to make money and to make yourself be a specific aesthetic. I have another question for you. Along those lines, too, though, Abby, do you have to declare debt in your country when you apply for a visa to the U.S.?
You don't have to declare debt in your country. However, Birkin's debt is in US dollars. So I'm concerned about where it's coming from.
We're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
We're on episode 5.
Okay.
So live chat, if I'm not addressing some of your questions, it's because I know you guys are up to date, but we're catching up. So I want to be able to address those things as we cover those episodes, if you all don't mind.
We'll come back to it. Becca, come back and ask the same question again. You don't have to clear debt in your home country, and then we'll go on to the rest of it another day.
Awesome. And then she also says that she hopes that Laura is proud of herself for being so brave. She thought it was so lovely to normalize a different body shape that is not what is promoted again. And I absolutely agree. I think we're all on the same page. I think it was very brave of her, and I think that she should be very proud of herself.
There's one thing I want to say about Laura in this moment is I think that she might want to consider having some mental health services along with her weight loss, because some of the things that she was saying reflect that no matter how much weight she loses, she's going to have some difficulty with self-esteem. And that might be something that's good for anybody who's going under any major, weight loss, that there's going to be some residual feelings there of having lower self-esteem.
Absolutely. Laura is feeling insecure and embarrassed after all of this in front of, and thank you, Pieces. I guess I'm saying his name wrong. It's a beer can. I guess I'm saying Birkin, but hey, Birkin bag. Beer can. She feels embarrassed in front of him because of, having to be so extremely vulnerable on day 2 of meeting this guy that you think that you want to have a future with. So they sit down and he asks her, what were your thoughts about all of this and about the surgery? And she's like, I've wanted to do it for a long time. And he basically says, if you feel more confident when you do it, just do it. I think that that's brave of you. You have nothing to be ashamed about or embarrassed about. You have done so much to change your life. You are you have the power to change your life. You've lost weight. Enjoy your life. You're gorgeous, and I will always be on your side, okay? I was shocked. I was shocked.
He related it to himself, talking about his teeth. I mean, this was a really good, points for Birkin on that.
Shocked. I didn't know he had it in him. Shocked. Did I tell you I was shocked? Very supportive. Even walking away, they were all hugged up, arm in arm. I'm considering he was ignoring her on the train the other episode and, stayed on the couch last night. Okay.
Yeah.
Full of surprises. You are full of surprises, Beer Can. Can't wait. Can't wait to catch up, because I also know that I saw a little preview and you were talking about your debt and it sounds like it's terrible. And when she said how much and it cut, I was like, oh God, it has to be a lot. No, thank you. Oh goodness. And these two fools, just no. Just, you know what? Be 27 and go and live your life and enjoy it. Travel the world, hook up with people, and then You know, when you hit 30, settle down and call it a day. I don't know. I just whatever's going on here is all unnecessary. Okay. Do you want to add anything?
Nope, that's it for Laura.
Emma and Ziad. Like, I don't
Why are
even
we
know.
even dragging this out?
I don't
You know, the
know.
only thing I have to say about this segment is that I bought some argan oil when I was in Morocco, and it was really, really lovely for my hair. So when she was looking for some hair oil, I was like, oh, girl, this is the right place to be getting that argan oil. That's it. That's all I have for this whole segment.
I like that they took a cooking class. I think that that's a fun date.
That is a fun date.
And then being able to sit down at a restaurant and eat the food you make. I thought that that was great. So they're taking a cooking class, which she is happy about because since she's been there, she feels that Ziad has been distant, not only emotionally, but physically. So she's hoping that this cooking class will, you know, kind of bring them together. They were making tagine with chicken and lemon. And y'all, I thought they were going to give us the recipe because they were like, first you start with lemon. I wrote that down. I noticed there was some red onion. And then that's it. I was like, how are you going to show me a cooking class and just show me her chopping some red onions and that's it? You didn't see how it was going to be made because I could have inferred the rest. Anyways, I digress. She is chopping her onions. She looks over at him and says, do I look like a wife? I hated everything about that because, I mean, what are you saying right now? And he says, you know, one of the reasons why he's taking those cooking classes because he knows that she doesn't know how to cook and he wants to teach her how to cook for him. Again, hated everything about that.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are too young to be so like, blah. Yeah. Okay. So then the tagine is his favorite food. So tagine with meat is Ziad's favorite food. And then she tests him about her favorite food. He remembers that it's sushi. So she's like all gaga because he actually remembers something about her, which I just think is so sad. She wants to meet his family. And he makes every single excuse in the book to not allow that to happen. His dad is traveling. It's not easy. They are very busy. They have very busy schedules. She's also upset that she's not seeing his apartment. But then I'm like, well, then why did you pay for a hotel? Like, if seeing his apartment, which I absolutely think you guys should do, women, okay? Listen, y'all, before you decide to get intimate, before you decide to get serious, I'm adding a new requirement about my 5 things.
Let me write this down.
Before you get intimate, you need to go and see where he lives. You need to go to his place and see how he's living. Because the new thing, y'all, is these fools will say they have a roommate when the roommate is actually their wives. And that's why you haven't put in place. A lot of these fools have stuff going on at the house. That's why you're never at the house. So if he's always like, oh, no worries, I'll come get you. I'll come to your place. I'll stay at your place. And you haven't been to his place yet. Don't do it. Don't be intimate until you've gone and see how he's living. All right. That being said, she wants to meet his family. She wants to see his apartment. She feels like he's lying. And he is. And she's really insecure about him and his social media and him following other women online. And she has some app installed on her computer where she can see how many people he follows. I think that is so wild and weird and such a waste of time. Like, if you have to do all that, do you really want to be with that person? Because clearly you don't trust each other. And what base of a relationship if there's no trust? What is it that you're like, what? So you're going to drive yourself crazy over likes and follows? And she she confronts him. She says, "Do you talk to girls on social media?" And he says, "No, just like the people I know." And she's like, "Well, every day you follow new girls." And women out there, I'm just curious how you feel about that. If your partner follows new girls online, do you think that's problematic? What do you think, Abby?
100%. Why are we just following thirst traps and probably AI and bot accounts at this point? You're just following a bunch of women. What's the point? That
So,
I wouldn't care for that.
so it's problematic.
I think it's problematic. As a matter of fact, I don't really think I care for a man who's super active on social media. Why are you, as a man, not cutting the grass? Why are you on social media? Why aren't you renting a shampooer to shampoo all the carpets in the house? Why do you have free time as a man to be on social media?
Oh my God, Abby.
I'm just like, as a man, what are you doing recording a video to put it on social media? What are you doing? What are you talking about? I follow so few men. I don't find it justified for them to exist in cyberspace.
Oh my, Abby, what? What?
Exactly. Exactly, Becca. Don't touch grass, go mow it.
I'm sorry, you guys. I was not ready for the answer.
I know. How many men can I think of right now who I feel like are justified having a social media presence?
Abby, what?
Kev on stage. That's all I got for you. That's all I could think of off the top of my head. I watched some of his videos. Oh, you know who I do watch? You know who I do watch? Do you know that one African guy who will be like, "How do you dance to unemployment? I've become recently unemployed."
Oh,
Trust
he's
yourself.
hilarious.
You know that guy? That guy is hilarious. Okay, he's justified being on social media. Okay, but he still needs to go mow the grass when he gets done with that video.
I'm gonna need a minute. I'm shocked. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. So I'm gonna just leave that alone, and perhaps we can circle back to this. Yeah, I am shocked. Okay, so have you just okay? So, she's really upset that he follows new girls every day, and she wants to know since they've been dating, has he talked to anyone in a romantic way? He says no, he has not talked to any other women since they've been dating in a romantic way. No, he hasn't cheated on her. No, he hasn't lied to her. And no, he has no secrets. And I just feel like none of those things are true. I don't believe all four things. I think
no.
I think yes, he's talked to other women because he wouldn't be following all these new women if he was not at least talking to some of them. I do think he's cheated. I actually think there's someone else, and she just doesn't know about it. He's lying to her right now. He's lying about his dad traveling, his apartment, all the things, and I think he has secrets that he hasn't told her. Mm-hmm. And he asked her if she has any secrets. She too is also a liar and said no, because here was a perfect opportunity for you to tell him about your other Moroccan fiance. I don't understand why you just didn't tell him.
Yeah, she's like, oh, because he asked, it's not a good time to tell him. What?
He then says, well, when we first started talking, why did you disappear? And then she said that she was going through a breakup. And then he's like, oh, so when we first started talking, you were in a relationship? And then she's like, well, I like to look at it, I was going through a breakup. And I said, these two 27-year-olds that are just gaslighting each other to each other's face, it's very hard to watch.
Absolutely. Ziad's been lying since the time that she touched down, and all the things he said about, oh, we'll be able to touch each other, we'll be able to sleep together. will be able to, you can wear whatever you want. I didn't realize at the time that he got there. And she's been lying too with that hairline.
Oh my, Abby, you were on a roll today. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. She did. You know what? Listen, I'm not one to speak. I will do extensions and wigs and all the things. I will do all the things anytime I feel like it. But she needs to put some layers in. She needs to put some layers in so that, like, and she also, anyways, don't get me started on the hair thing. All I'm saying is that she needs some layers, and if you're gonna wear a wig, you have to invest in an expensive good wig. An expensive good wig is gonna allow you to have flexibility. It's gonna look like your own hair. You should never have one that has like a such a defined line, because it like what? All right. That's all I have. After watching Single Life, and Single Life was just making me laugh, and I'm like, oh, they're little like this and that. Coming back to this nonsense, where I'm like, don't get me wrong, I love it. It's entertaining, but they are all problematic. I don't see one couple here that I think is going to make it.
None of them make any sense.
No.
Well, actually, like I could see Daniel and Lisa making it because their delusions match each other. So I'm not saying they could make it because they're a good couple or that they should be together, but I think that he is willing to work hard enough for that green card, and she's willing to believe that he wants her enough for that to continue working out.
Listen, I will say this. Daniel. Okay, let me preface it with this. I think Angela is a terrible, disgusting individual. Period. Full stop. However, I feel like Daniel has taken a page out of Michael's book and is going the long haul. Like, he's gonna put up with whatever, however, he's gonna sweet talk and all the things by any means necessary to get himself to America. And I guarantee you, if they do make it that far, exactly what happened with Michael and Angela is gonna happen with Daniel and what's her face?
Lisa.
That's what's going to happen. He's going to get here. They're going to get married. He's going to stay the length that he needs to stay, and then he's going to leave her. And he will be hightailing out of there. Like, she won't even know where he is. That's it. That's if they make it that far. We'll see.
We shall see.
All right, you guys, that's it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Abby's channel and my channel. Hop on over to our social medias. Thank you guys so much for being here. And we will see you very, very soon as we catch up on all things before the 90 days. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. TTFN.